Good morning, class. Mr. Pariksi here, and we are just going over the homework from 8-4 and 8-5. So starting out for problems 5 to 7, determine the missing amounts in the following tables. So for number 5, you're buying a stereo system. Your loan balance is $1,200. Your interest rate is 12%. Your monthly payment is $106.56, and they actually went ahead and solved these next two for you already. The amount for the interest is $12. The amount for the principal is $94.56. So all we need to find is that new principal. If you remember from the notes, my new principal is just my previous principal, which I started here, my previous principal at $1,200, minus your payment to the principal. So $1,200 minus 94.56, and my answer comes to 1105.44. For number 6, now we have to calculate all three parts. You got to calculate your interest, your amount for the principal, and your new principal. So for my interest for this riding lawnmower, interest is just I equals PRT. So my principal is $3,460 times my interest rate of 10% times my time, which in this case we're talking about 1 month, so that's 1 over 12. So times 1 divided by 12. My interest comes out to $28.83. So my payment for the principal, we have to think back to our equation for that, and that's just your monthly payment minus your interest. So our monthly payment in this case was $207.95 minus that interest of $28.83. So my payment for the principal is $179.12. And now again, I can find my new principal by taking that amount for the principal and taking it away from my loan balance right here. So that's 3,460 minus 179.12. So my new balance is 3,280 and 88 cents. You could follow this same process to solve for number 7. And your answers for number 7 are shown below right there. So for questions 8 through 14, you'll notice we have this table here. My monthly payment stays the same the whole way down. Monthly payment is not going to change. It's always the same. My interest, however, is going to start out higher and slowly decrease. So this one is decreasing, okay? And just that's how your loans go. As you work your way through the life of the loan, the amount you pay in interest decreases. This gets the bank their money up front earlier. The amount for the principal then is the opposite of the interest. So the less you're paying for interest, the more you get to pay for your principal. So you start out paying less, and then you slowly make higher payments for your principal, okay? And lastly, your principal is obviously going down because the more you pay, the less you owe. This loan started at $2,400, and then after each payment, this is decreasing, okay? Just to show you some of the trends there. So now when we're solving this, we can go through and use the same equations we've been using. So for my new principal, I'm taking my previous principal, amount for my principal, or my previous principal is this 1,400, and I'm taking away the amount for the principal. So 1435.30 minus that 198.77, which is directed towards that principal payment, and now my new principal is $1,236.53. Now, I don't care about that old principal payment anymore. I don't care, or that old principal. I don't care about the $1,400 anymore. I don't owe that. I owe $1,236.53. So for my 7th payment, again, I make that same monthly payment. 7th month comes around, I pay that, but I'm paying less in interest, which means I'm paying a higher amount for my principal. So I would take that $213.12 and subtract my interest of $12.37 to get $275. $200.75 going towards my principal. Now, again, same thing. We're going to take that and subtract it from that previous principal of $1,236.53 minus that 200.75. And my principal again goes down to $1,035.78. For calculating my interest, again, I have to use that I equals PRT. Okay, my principal is not that 2,400 though, okay? It's what it currently is. So it's 1035.78 times my rate, which doesn't change, which is up here. That's still that 12%. And we're talking about 1 month, so it's going to be 1 over 12. So when I plug all of that into my calculator, I come out with an interest payment of $10.36. $10.36. And that follows our pattern. It's still decreasing, right? It should not be higher than that $12.37. We're paying less in interest. So we can subtract that interest from our monthly payment. So $213.12 minus $10.36 to get our payment for the principal to be $202.76. And then subtract that from our principal again. So a tedious process, but this is how loans work. 202.76. And my new principal is $833.02. So we can follow this same process the whole way down. Calculate your interest, subtract it from the monthly payment, subtract your amount for the principal from your previous principal, and you just keep working your way down. I'll do one more interest with you here. So my interest again is that PRT. My new principal is that $833.02 times 12% times 1 month. 1 month worth of interest. 833.02 times 0.12 times 1 over 12. And this one came to $8.33. So complete the rest of this chart. The answers will be up momentarily. Now, as we get to our last payment down here, we have a remaining principal of $212.48, and the interest payment on this final month would be $2.12. Now, in reality, this means that you have $214.06 or 60 cents to pay off this whole thing. That's ultimately what you would pay, but for the sake of this problem, we'll assume that our monthly payment, actually, yeah, we'll just pay everything off. So for down here, you could just pay that $213.12, but I'm just going to pay off the whole thing. So if you do the $213.12, you're not wrong, but I'm just going to pay the $214.60, and then that much goes for interest, which means I have left over $212.48 towards my principal, which pays it off, and boom, my loan is now officially paid off. For lesson 8, or unit 8, lesson 5, we have questions 3 through 6 down here. Don't worry about number 7. So for number 3 through 6, it says find the interest and the final payment. So we're looking, we have our previous balance. I know that interest equals PRT, my principal times my rate times my time. So in this case, my high-speed color printer is 12% interest, and I have a remaining balance, or previous balance, of $4,800. So for number 3, I would just take that $4,800, my principal, times that 0.12, times the next month would be 1 over 12. And when I plug that in, 4,800 times 0.12 times 1 over 12, that comes to an interest rate, or interest, of $48. So my final payment here, if I wanted to pay everything off, I would have to pay off that $4,800, but I'd also have to pay off $48 for interest. So my final payment would just be $4,848.00. Same thing for the next one, principal times rate times time. In this case, it would be 3,000 times 0.08. So this was for number 3 here. If I were to do number 4 up here, 3,000 times 0.08 times 1 over 12. You get an interest payment of $20. So this one came to 20 bucks. Okay, so that's $20 right there, which would mean 3,000 plus 20 is just 3,020. I'm going to pause the video and put the next few answers up there so you can check yourself in a sec. So there we have our interest payments and our final payments for number 5 and 6. Pause the video if you need to check your answers.